20-pound helmet is placed on the man's head. This is a challenge between the black trainee and the senior white instructor. As the water rises above their noses, the breath-holding contest begins. At 1 minute and 20 seconds, neither of them shows any signs of distress. The instructor even taunts Jack with a look. At 3 minutes and 20 seconds, the instructor begins to struggle, which is the limit for an average person. But neither side is willing to give up. When it hits 4 minutes, the instructor starts bleeding from his nose. But out of pride, he refuses to stop. And Carl is also at his breaking point. His subordinates are worried, watching as the instructor still tries to endure. They sense something is wrong and rush in to remove the instructor's diving helmet, saving him just in time before he reaches the brink of death. Carl wins the contest, and according to the bet, the instructor restores Tom's academic standing. However, the defeated instructor is called for a private meeting with the principal, who orders him to expel Carl from the school. The next day is the graduation exam, and the instructor personally finds Carl to try to persuade him to give up the exam, claiming he will never pass. But Carl refuses to back down. In anger, the instructor grabs his radio and smashes it to pieces. Carl is furious because the radio was the only keepsake his late father left him, but he holds back his anger because he knows that once he passes tomorrow's exam, he won't have to face these people ever again. The next day's graduation exam is simple. The trainees just need to assemble a specific part underwater to receive their graduation certificate. The trainees put on their diving suits and descend into the sea. Whoever finds the missing part can request their tool bag. When Carl makes his request, the principal orders the instructor to tamper with his tool bag by slashing it, then throws it into the water with all the parts scattered and mixed up. Carl is stunned for a moment, but then he carefully begins searching through the parts. 1 hour passes, and the first white trainee successfully graduates. After more than 4 hours, the last white trainee climbs ashore, trembling uncontrollably. Long underwater work causes the body temperature to drop, but Carl is still searching for the parts. As night falls, the temperature drops drastically, and the seawater becomes much colder than during the day. 9 hours pass, and Carl is freezing underwater. Despite his uncontrollable shivering, he keeps assembling the parts. For safety, the instructor asks the principal to pull Carl out of the water, but the principal refuses, stating that even if Carl freezes to death, he will not let him graduate. Reluctantly, the instructor uses the radio to advise Carl that survival is more important than anything else, but Carl shows no sign of giving up. A little while later, the instructor can no longer bear it and orders Carl to be pulled out, but the rope gets caught. When they finally pull him up, they find that it's the parts Carl had assembled. He had completed the task. Carl slowly climbs ashore, still shivering from the cold, but his eyes remain determined. This unexpected performance finally moves the instructor, who personally announces that Carl has completed the assembly task. At last, Carl graduates and becomes a Navy diver.